Footium in the States, baby. Season 6 is heating up. We're about halfway through, and we are back again. That's right, ZM Star up the sham, who actually has a game going right now. That's right, it isn't live. Watch along for the ZM Star. Live in action on a Sunday. Here we are. And then Chris, the MLS card guy, here as well to make sure that we know why we suck at Footium, because he has all the spreadsheets. But either way, we have all this nice info. Like we said, ZM is brand new to the Footium streets. His first season in, so we're going to get his opinions as we watch him sweat this game. And yeah, we'll kind of catch up on all of our teams, see where we are going, and go from there. So as Zach, your game is at about halftime right now, a little bit past halftime. So kind of the Shams. How are the Shams doing? Let us know how it's going so far.
So the Shams are top of the table. I just came off a home and home against the guy in second. First game we drew. So I went to market after that game. Picked up some reinforcements. Oh,
wow.
There we go. Went to market, played him again, and then annihilated him. So I solidified
said
first.
Draws aren't good enough. We must win.
Draws, I'm not taking chances drawing again or possibly losing. Well, he had some pretty good players, so that's why I was like, all right, I just have to go better than him. And so worked out a deal with JG, picked up a couple players off him, and then started them and just went to town on that dude. I did go defensive following the Chris method of mentality, and
yes,
I was racking up goals on him.
It's weird how that works, right?
It is.
It's kind
of
crazy.
The match engine is definitely interesting with that.
I have been on defensive for an entire season, aside from today when I finally went attacking and it finally worked on my backup team, just purely because I wanted to save stamina for my defensive team or my defenders and didn't really care about the actual outcome of the game.
That's hilarious.
It actually worked for the first time ever, so it's great.
Or y'all could just be balanced bros, play on balance the entire season, and be currently undefeated as of right now. So clearly, the proof is in the pudding, baby. Balanced to the moon, because that's how we're getting things done. That's how we are staying on top of the leaderboard. Finally, comfortably in first place, baby. That is how we do. I told you, this is it. This is it. This is the one, not the one before this or the one before that. All right. I know I say it every year, but this is the year. I feel it in my bones. We are running hot. So you were you were saying that it's only been like a week and a half into the season, something like that, about halfway through, and you're already buying more players. You're already
I'm already looking forward to promotion. So I'm already looking at. So I have a couple of young academy guys that I need to get minutes for.
The struggle.
So that way I can train them, because it's really hard. I find that's the hardest part, is juggling, getting training in for some guys and minutes at the same time, while trying to lock up the league at this moment. So I'm locking it up now, and I can get some of these lower rated guys some time to then I can train.
So it sounds like you're going through the good old dilemma of I need a second team. This is what happens when you have too many It's like, do you get minutes? Do you train them? Do you want to do one or the other? Especially when you're trying to win that top of the league. Is what I'm saying. You could be like me and have 38
Div 8.
players.
You play all the young kids in Div 8. It's too easy.
Yeah.
Talk to me in Div 7.
That's where I'm
even Div 7, really. It depends on where you are.
Yeah, it depends on where you are. When you look at the other teams in your table. But yeah, I think another team might be on the horizon after promotion, just so I can filter out some young guys and because now I'm up to 5 bronze players.
Oh, already?
Yeah, I just picked up some bronze guys.
So I don't know if you guys have actually seen this. Wait, Bachman is in the league.
Wait, Bachman, are you Wayne Park?
In big trouble if Bachman's in the league.
I was about to say, you talking about logging up promotion, buddy.
He has to be Wayne Park. Has to be.
Oh, is that the only other good team in this league?
Pretty much. Oh, he's Muck.
Ooh.
Muck is the team. Muck is the team that just has 7 bronze and silver players and then just runs zombie the rest of it.
That sounds like Bachman. I got too many teams, not enough players. I'm just gonna throw out some silver players in there.
Yeah. Yeah, I was really worried about Muck at the beginning at the beginning of the season. And I was looking through. I'm like, oh man, this team is like loaded up.
Yeah, how's that
But I guess
strategy going for Muck?
they're sitting third, I believe.
Okay, all right. So you can still win a little bit of ETH, a little half zombie team, half a bunch of silvers and bronzes. Yeah, the
Yeah.
Bachman way, baby. We're trademarking that. Put that on a T-shirt.
6 to 7 players of high quality, and just let
Div-
Zombie fill in the rest.
Might be better than Threshold back in the day in Old Silver. You know what I'm saying?
Oh,
You just
let's
kind of
go.
sit there,
Let's go.
not even a full team. You just rack up that
All right,
ETH.
team
baby.
stats. Dude, I'm at 17 shots. Come on.
That's
Come on.
horrible. This is when they
Yeah.
nick, and the other team has like 7 yellow cards, no red cards
Yeah.
somehow.
Yeah.
Yeah, this is
Match
a
engine
this
is
is a
not gonna get-
beatdown if I've ever seen one. But
Is it,
it
though?
just
It's
takes
1-0.
one shot.
I know.
Just
Takes one shot. To
They've
mess
literally
me up.
only had one shot though, so that's the good news.
You could
74
you
minutes
could
to
be like
get
the
the
rest
first
of us
shot.
and concede a penalty in stoppage time and get the draw. Oh, that always feels great.
Oh,
Yo, so I conceded a penalty today at 0-0 in the 60th minute, ended up winning 1-0. We saved the penalty and then won the game anyway. Absolutely insane.
yeah, I had my first pen
That was
the other
Big
day.
game.
Yeah, and the dude, it just said the guy skied it over the goal. I was like, yes, skied it over the goal.
I feel like pens are a little less.
Oh,
Hey,
that was money. That pass looked money.
Lock
right
it
there.
up. Lock it up.
All right, good. I'm still holding.
Take that, Bachman. You're not getting first place. Not in this league. You might win Div 1, but you're not winning this league.
Sounds like a sham to me, brother.
Yeah. Speaking of other thing, Chris,
Yes.
Sam, if you come back and watch this, you have to hit up me and MLS with the forum to get our cups, man. To get our coffee cups.
Oh, I got mine.
Oh, you got
didn't
your
get yours?
No, I didn't get mine
Yeah.
yet. All right.
Yeah.
Sam,
I can.
coming for
I don't
you.
know if I'm allowed to share you the link, but I can probably share you the link since
Okay.
you're in there.
Wait.
Yeah.
Y'all got coffee cups?
Yeah,
Yeah,
dude,
we-
we won the coffee cup giveaway.
Yeah.
Big time. We're
Wait,
big
what
time
was it like
content
a
creators.
Footium coffee cup?
Yeah, they're like custom designed coffee cups from someone.
Yeah, with your team.
Oh, okay. That's exciting. That's exciting. Not gonna lie, Chief. Every day I get a little bit more and more tempted to change up my badge and get a custom
Ooh.
badge in.
The
Just because, like, look,
Hundy.
Yeah, the
I'm-
two
I'm in-
hundy.
I'm in for the Brew Braver, baby. I love Brew Braver. Love it with a passion. But that badge, it's not
Brew.
my badge. You know what I'm saying? It's not my club. I need to make it my club. The only way to do that is get a little badge.
The way to do that is for both of us to get to Div 6 and be in the same division, and we can have the Battle of the Brews.
Well, right
Brew
now in
Braver
the
versus
Discord,
Brew
there's a meme contest, and the winners will get a free badge upgrade.
Ooh, that'll
Yeah.
get me. That'll get me in a
Ooh,
Discord.
That's a
I
good
think the
pass.
Discord isn't great. I still can't use Discord, man. I don't know. I just forget it exists. Notifications on my phone don't work. I get on my
Wow.
computer, there's like 100 notifications. I look at my phone, there's nothing. I'm like, what the hell? That don't make no sense.
I'm always in the Discord, man. Just hanging out, reading what everybody's posting about, and checking out the feedback, the feedback section.
Yeah, we love the feedback channel on this show, boy.
We're gonna get to that. We're gonna get to that. Okay. That's our main topic for the day. Once
That's
this game
fair.
ends.
Yeah, right now somebody's pretty heated about, I guess, Div 1, I don't know, match fixing is pretty hot topic right now.
Match fixing.
Oh. Yeah, that's what we're gonna have to do on these shows. We're gonna have a segment when it's like, what's the tea in the Discord?
Yeah.
And be like, all right,
Yeah.
what are people mad about? What are they upset about this week?
So I'm like,
What am I upset
can't-
about this week?
Yeah. I mean, I
Most
can't
of the
even
time
care
it's
about
me.
match. Yeah. I can't care about match fixing in Div 1 right now. Like, it's not even. I'm so far away from that.
I'm like trying to
So-
even think like what's like the biggest thing right now that like irks me or bugs me right now. The MetaMask thing recently was upsetting, but that wasn't their fault.
Yeah.
It was really outside of their control, but happy they got it fixed in timely manner. Shout out to Footium for making things happen on the fly.
I did add Rabby to my browser. Ooh, there we go. No. Yes.
Yeah,
Was that you?
No, you're good.
There we go. That was
you.
me. I was
Talker,
like, wait,
no,
I
you're
looked
not
away.
paying
Free
attention.
kick goal, by the way. That was
I-
a banger from outside the box.
Yeah, I looked away for a minute. I was like, well, what happened?
That
So
was
yeah,
that was the Declan Rice special.
Oh,
I
so
added
there's
the
another one
Rappy
coming.
wallet, and it does seem to be much better. It was real easy to do. Like,
Huh.
just add my seed phrase and everything was. I know Muck is flying, dude. They're up 6-0.
To the Muck Wanderers. See, that's a fun name.
Can't catch the Shams though.
Yeah. All right. So now
I'm sure that's why he has that team because it's a fun name.
I still
Yeah.
want someone to sell me Rock, though. It doesn't get much better than Rock.
Oh, Rocket's in trouble. Yeah.
Listen, Rock. Let me
They're
come
not even
in.
be a team soon.
Let me do a financial takeover of Rock. Okay.
It's a great.
Yeah. So let's see if it'll refresh and then.
That's all I want.
Ooh, Muck's in
Yeah.
fourth.
Yeah.
Come on, Bachman. 3 draws
Well-
and 3 losses.
But like I said, like he's running
Just
Like,
casually two
players.
rares.
2 rares. Yeah. Bronzes. You know.
2
So, like,
rare players in Div 8. What is he doing?
Bro, when you're that good, when you're that loaded in the Footium
Dude,
streets, man.
Okay,
you
not
can afford it.
not just a rare, but a 16-year-old rare. So he's obviously just running up minutes on him. Like he's 16, just running up minutes
That's
on him.
crazy.
Yeah, bro, that's it.
That's so
That's,
funny that Bachman's in this league.
So I'm getting to the point because I know me and Chris have had this conversation, and I know you're kind of in the same boat as I am, where you're building a team, looking at the second team. Chris, are you serious? Are at a serious disadvantage at this point if you don't have a second team? Like if you're like really playing like full blown in and
I don't
to
think
really
so.
like maximize the potential of your academy kids and like a first team and just like really opening up the academy system. Like, are you just at a disadvantage playing this game at an extremely high level without that second team?
At a higher level, probably like a 4th division, 5th division team, but like even 7th division teams, they're not like too crazy, right? Like there's not a ton of like rare players or bronze or anything like that. So I don't think it's a huge disadvantage. Obviously, it helps to have a second team a little bit. You can just be a little bit more efficient with like your overall positions to continue to maximize your players. But I think the rating of players doesn't mean nearly as much as the stamina does. So you can have kind of worse players as long as you out-rotate people, and you may not win the whole league, but you'll still be competitive and you'll still be good. And that's kind of what I've done with my main team. We have gotten better over the course of the year as far as like having a few more bronze players in there, but I still only have, I think, 3 or 4 bronze players in my team. And we're up to 6th now. Big win over Sansen today to kind of draw closer to this top group up here. We're going to get our ass handed to us by Luther Moose tomorrow, but that's another
That's
time.
tomorrow's problem.
That's
Yeah.
tomorrow's problem. But I mean, this team in Division 7, I've got 148 and then a couple 40s, and then most of this team is just kind of high 30s. And I'm just kind of out rotating and picking my spots and just beating people with better management. Like Luther Moose is similar to us as far as where they are in the table. I mean, they don't have as many players as us, but they don't train ever. And they're, obviously got better players than us. But we're just keeping the condition a little bit better than they are, which is kind of the key to the success. So I don't think it's impossible. I think you can definitely pick your spots, especially in Div 8. There's so many zombie teams where against the zombie team, you can play anybody. You can play an academy kid. It doesn't matter. You can always rack up minutes there. But even into Div 7, yeah, you won't be quite as good as you could be. But I don't think it's a huge disadvantage. And then obviously once those academy kids start to get a little bit better, then they become starters in the team. And then they kind of push the team forward. So you can also just flip the academy players too and buy people off the market, which is kind of part of what I've done as well. So I think there's more than one way to skin the cat here.
I need to start flipping those academy players, man. I am to the point, and like the main reason why I ask is because I do have basically I only have one team. I basically have, and I know I'm in Div 8, so it's a little bit different, but I basically have 2 full teams that I could rotate whenever I want, pick my battles, play the first team against the other guys that actually have real teams, and then just like rotate for the rest and then train and everything. And like, it's been great. But then Chris over here every day keeps yelling at me. He's like, dude, you're not optimizing your roster. He's like, you're inefficient.
Yeah.
And I'm like, what do you mean inefficient? I can do whatever I want and still win, baby. Undefeated, 13 wins, baby. 13-0.
But you got too many players, so you're not racking up minutes on all your players. That's the problem.
Yes. And that's
like there is such a thing as too many players, right?
I found it. Ladies and gentlemen, I found it. Because, yeah, there are players where, like, I know I need to play them for minutes. But it's like, do I play the strong guy? Do I play the next strong guy? Do I play the guy that's a little bit better but doesn't need minutes? And it's just like this, like, I'm, like, adding a whole bunch of other, like, decisions for myself that I really shouldn't need. Which, like, really pushes me to need that second team. But then getting that second team, am I just, like, spreading myself too thin and now both of my teams just suck?
Well, that's the thing. You just keep one team at max efficiency, and if you only have 10 players left, kind of like what I do, you just play them once every other day and just take the L's in the rest of the game. So your second team is not supposed to win. It's supposed to develop players that are lower overall, right? So my second team is likely to be relegated from Division 7, which is kind of fine. We actually beat Colton Wanderers today. Which was a big win to kind of keep us in the race and kind of keep us somewhat within touching distance. But, I mean, I pretty much just rotate against these top teams, these top 4. Anytime I see them, I'm rotating. Anytime I see these bottom guys that are zombie teams, I'm rotating. And then I'm only playing my real team when I'm hitting these guys in the middle. So I don't have enough players in this team. I only have 18, so I don't have 2 full rotations. But I'm picking and choosing where to use the zombies in games that don't matter, either because I know I'm going to win or I know I'm going to lose. And the goal here is to just stay up, which Colton Wanderers was a big win to just kind of keep in the race a little bit. We have Colts United after we get our butts handed to us by Hale City tomorrow. We have Colts United in the next game, and this is a team that I can definitely beat. They've got 21 players, but they mismanage the stamina so badly that I feel like I can kind of pick my spot and go after them. So we got a draw against them the first time we played late on in the first half. And now, we'll see what we can do, 3 games into the second half of the season. But yeah, to David's point, 33 players is ideal for one team. The benefit of having 2 teams is that you don't need 33 players because you can flip players in the middle of the season. So you can have, let's say, between the 2 teams, you lose left wingers at both teams. You need 2 on both teams just as base to flip back and forth every day, and then you need 1 extra one so that you can train your wingers. So basically, like a sub you can throw in. So middle of the season, you just flip that left winger from one team to the other, train the other team that hasn't been training for the first half of the season. That way, your players that you need per team to be efficient actually gets lower. That's why the second team is kind of optimal. And you can also stack all of the good players in one good team, which will help you be a little bit better in that best team. So, yeah, I think 33 players. I would tend to go maybe slightly less than that, because if you do like 2 center mids, then you can get away with 5 as opposed to needing 6. So depending on what positions you actually run, I don't think you need 3 full for each position. But yeah, somewhere between 30 and 33 players. Whereas if you go with 2 teams, like right now, I think my main team has 28, which is kind of optimal for them. So I'm a little bit more focused in getting minutes to fewer guys, if that makes sense. So I'm getting more minutes on those guys that are on that team.
Freaking MLS car guy just popped off, baby. Someone go back and clip that, because that is how you freaking win at Footium, baby. You can tell Chris the MLS car guy is full in on Footium, man. That was freaking awesome. That's right, Braun Bohr, City Group, the yin and yang of Footium. And I do want to shout out David Taylor again. Let's go, lads. Great season for him. First, second, and third in his D7 leagues. We are doing well, and it sounds like you are doing well as well. Happy you are here. But yeah, I mean, dude, that's the thing where it's like, dude, what's the point of playing if you ain't gonna win? And that's where I'm at with the second team. Like, I know I'm not gonna get it. I know it's not gonna be great, but like you're saying, you just use it, train them up, bring them back up. Kind of, it's the ability to train double, basically rotate double, and then kind of move things as you see fit to that first team.
And it unlocks having a few more of those like maxed out guys already. Like I always feel bad, at least when I had one team, of using a maxed out player because I'm not getting any better long term. Whereas now I feel a little bit better about using a maxed out because I don't need to get better on the first team long term because I know I have the second team guys coming through as well. So I can, get that 43, 44 player that I can't really afford to have a max, 55. But I can have him as a current rating 43 and kind of keep up with everybody else. So I think that opens the door to be a little more aggressive on, players that don't necessarily get better either. I want to talk through, I have a topic to talk through regarding the future of Footium. And this is a chart. This is a chart that I did not come up with. We had a back and forth. Actually, me and Bachman, who I guess is on. We had a back and forth about kind of the future and what's coming. And I think this chart is really kind of scary to me as far as what's coming down the road. When we first started, you could find, mid 30 type guys that kind of maxed out in the low 40s. And they were somewhat valuable. Those guys are all going away, right? This level here, this is going away. This is where the actual first class is, right? And there's a reason for this because people don't mint things that aren't high enough potential. So essentially what this chart tells us is almost nobody is willing to actually mint a player unless they were at this point above a 45 potential. And it only gets worse the furthest we go down, right? Because this trend keeps getting lower and lower and lower. Soon we're not going to see anybody below a 50 potential. This is where the heart of a lot of the cheapest players on the market were when we started. As these guys age out, what happens to these guys is the question. There's two answers, supply and demand wise. Either number one, Footium recognizes that all these players are aging out, so they add in a bunch of players up here, and therefore there's more of them, which makes their price go down. So the 55, 60, those type of players, the price could go down if Footium puts more of them in the game by incentivizing, people to mint them in their academies. Or Footium does not incentivize people to mint them into their academies, which means then these guys stay the same, but there is no like bottom tier anymore. So you can't find those guys for like $2, $3, $4. Everybody's going to be like $20 to buy a player, which also means since there's less players and now there isn't that bottom level, all those people have to spend up a little bit more. And the price of players is actually going to rise. Like all of the players are basically going to rise in price, and there won't be that kind of like entry level point. So I'm interested to see what happens in the next 3-4 seasons roughly when all of these auto-generated guys age out and all of these guys that were original academy players get to this age. It's going to be very interesting to see what the market does, because right now a bronze player, like a 40 bronze player, is actually okay. Like you can use them in a team. On this chart though, basically that bronze player is going to be completely worthless by the time we get 5 more seasons in. So if you've got a kid coming through the academy that's a 45 max and is a 28, you're going to spend 7 seasons training him up, and then he's going to be a 45 and be completely worthless anyway. So I think it's just really interesting to see how they're going to manage the player pool, given that they kind of started with their ideal conditions and now it's clearly like shifting up. Like these numbers are getting much bigger. I mean, look at these numbers as compared to these numbers, right? The 80s, 90s, they're clearly shifting, pretty high. So I think it'll be really interesting to see that inflation and how they try to manage it. Do you have thoughts, or did I just go way over your head?
I have a whole lot of thoughts. ZM, where are you at?
Yeah. Okay, so basically I'm following Chris here with the fact that...
And can you zoom that in a little bit more?
We will have to...
I don't know how much it's going to go.
Yeah.
Maybe.
Perfect.
Like right now, anybody who's coming in can sort of play for a relatively low price. But like a D8 team may end up being like a 50 plus team, just to, like, or you're just running,
right.
Or D8 is just zombies, right? Forever. It's just a forever zombie league. Maybe even D7. Who knows where like it ends up curtailing. But yeah, I don't know. I guess if they kind of come out and say something at some point as to what you're saying. But you're right. If we end up with like a 50+ team in D8, like that's what you need to just compete. That might get a little crazy.
And either that means they need more 50+ players because there's just not enough of them right now,
Yeah.
or the prices of those 50+ players are going to get insane. Like you can see the total amount; they're still equal on the amounts of players. The players are just shifting from down here to all up in here because you get one of these big academy players. Obviously, you're going to mint it. Whereas if you get one of these guys down here, I don't know. I don't really like that position very much, or I already have one of those in my team. So that's why you're seeing that is just the natural academy mint. That's why I kind of want them to incentivize lower academy players. So instead of every single academy player being worth the same amount to mint, I think they should have tiers, right? They should have 1 or 2 good players, 1 or 2 medium players, 1 or 2 low players, and however many it takes to get to 7. And then it's okay. Do I want to mint the star academy player that's going to be a mid 50, 60 guy for double the price, or do I want to mint the 45 guy for a lot lower just because I need somebody in that spot, or I need that because like that'll incentivize more people to kind of mint those lower tier players. So I think that's probably the answer. Either that or they just airdrop a bunch of lower rated guys in, or I don't know. I don't know what else they could really do other than incentivize the academy. Because right now, with everybody being exactly the same, obviously you're only going to mint your highest rated players. So that it's always going to tend to do this. And my argument, I think, with Bachman was this trend is obvious in the numbers right now. The question is, will it continue? Will it be a cycle? So once these guys are here, will then this group start to be the ones that are like the really minted ones, which I think is interesting economics wise. There's a few different factors at play. And I think we both have, decent arguments as to why it will or will not, just continue to rise like this.
Now, is this based on max potential or like where they are right now?
This is the max potential as far as I know.
So
So
my thing,
this is like, because I mean, if it were their current potential, you would expect to see rise throughout their careers. Like the older players should be higher rated than the younger players, but this is max potential.
And that's where I'm at, and I kind of see it, and I'll hit the chat here in a second. But the way that I look at it is like, you got to think the people that were in early were minting everything because they didn't know what the heck was going on. The longer you're on the platform, the more you figure out who to mint and who not to mint. So obviously, and we see it in every game ever. You get this initial base, and then you don't have the expansion. You don't get like mass loads of multiple people like onboarding at once. It slowly trickles over time, but it doesn't happen all at once. So and especially we saw it in like going into last season, like how the exposure just completely blew through the roof. There's a lot more people on Footium than there were. Those people, Zach, like ZM, if he didn't have us when he was getting into Footium, he wasn't just going to go out and buy the 50 rated. He was probably going to buy the whole freaking academy because he just would have been stoked. Yes. He needed players, and he just would have gone in and buy. So as you learn, as you figure out the game, as the game itself matures, you're going to see that trend. But in theory, and the way we see most games, especially in Web3 go, the newer the user base, the bigger it gets. Like the more it's going to expand, the more you're going to see those lower players minted because there's market tuition, there's all this and all that stuff. But I do agree they do need to incentivize it a little bit because at the end of the day, the more academy players that are getting sold, the more that goes into the reward pool and the more that we as users win. So there is that kind of like, okay, we do have to find a way to incentivize people buying into those lower players and figuring them out, even after they've been around for a while and going, well, it's not really worth it because I can get a lower rated player off the market for way cheaper to just kind of fill in some depth. We know that because we've been here. We didn't know that. You want to go back and look at our first streams. I didn't know what the heck was up and down on Footium. Now, baby, I'm getting picky. It also helps that like half of my academy is 50 rated, but whatever. That's neither here nor there, baby.
Lucky.
But I do think it is kind of like and like, dude, you could predict things and you can chart things and you could make all these sorts of analysis and like assumptions into going to the beginning of something, but you're never going to know how the players are going to react, how the market's going to act, whether there was a meta or not, which we've learned that there's not because there's so many different ways to play this. There's a lot of variables to it. I do agree that this looks really bad. Like looking at this right now, you're like, wait, something's broken. Like something is completely lopsided. But if those players go extinct, like also like who cares, bro? Because they suck anyway.
So I have like 3 thoughts on this whole thing, just real quick. One, I really urge them to please do not do anything with retired players. I stressed this the last time I said this. One of the key features I think of this game that is perfect. A player just leaves and he's gone forever. Do not give them utility in some way. The second thing is that there's probably 3 types of managers in this game, right? There's the people who will just spend and buy the players. There's the efficient manager like Chris who will unlock his potential of his guys. And then there's probably ultimately players like me who can't quite get the efficiency down and my guys never hit their full potential, right? That's like the 3 base. So that probably is factored in somewhere in their thinking. And then the third thing is like, what if they introduce like this is a legit problem. So let's say they say, all right, D8 can't have anything more than 2 bronze players. You know, like they just put caps in the divisions of like what can be played there. I know people hate caps and you're not owning the game and blah, 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 blah. I'm just saying like this is an idea.
It could, but it never incentivizes you to mint an academy prospect, right? You just go buy something off the market that's theoretically cheaper.
That's true. Right? It was $7 worth. I think every academy in D8 this season was like $7, if I'm not mistaken. I think it was.
Right. And keep in mind that D8 has mostly zombie teams, so most of those guys are not getting minted. D7 it's doubled for the academy price, right? So you're only getting guys that are worth at least $14 in D7. So D8 has the potential to mint a few lower rated guys because they're so cheap. But once you get to D7, D6, there's zero incentive to mint any of those guys because they're so expensive compared to everything else in the market. And I think that's the real key here. And that's the thing that I think long-term is going to be really interesting. Once these guys retire that are kind of lower rated now, like the high commons, the low bronzes, once those guys retire, what happens to the price of the lowest rated player on the market, right? Either it goes up, which means then we can mint everybody because we're minting people lower than the cheapest player that we can buy in the market anyway. So that helps to like kind of fix the problem. Or the price on those guys comes down because everybody mints those guys in their academy. Footium has to keep the right number of people in the divisions. So they just basically start pumping the academies with better rated players so that more people will mint them, right? So I think it could kind of work itself out to some degree, but only if the price of the players goes up to a level that's above what it costs to mint any player in the academy, right? At that point, then you have some incentive. And then D8 teams actually become kind of worth more than D7 or D6 teams purely because their academies are so cheap. Then you can just straight mint people and sell them for, an instant profit, no matter how good their potential is. So there actually might be a world where because the price is so high on just the base everyday market player, D8 teams actually become super valuable to own just because you can pump their academies and basically even just stay in D8 and just continue to lose in D8. So you keep getting the academy guys every year and you can keep flipping them for more than they're, worth. So, I mean, it's a really interesting kind of long-term trend to see how this goes and continue to kind of monitor the situation. But if one of the big points here, if you're thinking to yourself, oh, I've got a bunch of 50 rated guys in my academy, like eventually my team is going to be so much better than every other team because I'm going to have all these 50s and I'm playing against all these guys that are like 40s. So my team's going to be better. No, everybody else is in the same position. They've all got 50s in their academies too. At some point, everybody's going to have 50s and your team is, by the time those guys actually get to 50, everybody's going to be at 50. So
yeah, I'm going to be in Div 3, so I'm not even going to care anyway, bro. Because all my 50s that I minted while hanging out in Div 8 for like 4 seasons because I'm bad are all eventually going to pay off.
But that's the point. Everybody will have 50s, so then 50 doesn't matter.
Well, everybody's probably not going to spend as much time in Div 8 as me. Therefore, I'm the winner.
I'm the captain now.
Give me that freaking hat. I'm the captain now.
Bachman, to be fair, I'm probably jaded from other games that I've played about my harsh take on retired players not having utility, and maybe there is a good idea for retired players' utility that doesn't break the market. So I'll leave that open. But as of right now, unless the idea is very solid, like at some point, people have to take a loss on their purchases. Like it's just you got the utility and it's
for
open
one
now.
person to win, someone else has to lose. That's trading.
But
baby.
I mean, like
That's
it's healthy for the game. It's healthy for the game. I think.
Yeah.
But if they have a good idea,
and
then
that's why
I'm in.
that's why like rare players in Div 8 makes no sense because you're using years and getting virtually no utility. Like the best you can do is win, a couple bucks in Div 8 now. Like using those years up, years cost money in a certain sense, right?
Yeah,
that's where we're buying. We're buying time.
Exactly.
I mean, I don't know. Maybe Bachman's running out that youngster though.
That's for
those minutes up.
That's for the MLS card guy rant for next week. So we're gonna give him some homework. We're gonna have him dive deep into the retired players. All right, you guys are gonna have some talks, and then we'll come back. I do want to shout out real quick though, Andy Mack for hanging out in the chat. What is up? What is up? I know I saw Vernon up here too earlier, doing well in D2, baby. But they've taken all this juju. The rest of it, hey, as long as one's winning up there in D2, baby. Okay, that's not nothing. Okay, as long as you're winning up in D2.
Prizes are prizes in D2. You take those.
Yeah.
That's where it's hard,
definitely.
baby. That's where it's hard. I mean, obviously, Bachman chiming in here. We love to have Bachman in here. Other things will be new, too. Some players will never reach their potential, and the top end is bigger. No, they didn't start with ideal conditions. They planned this. I do agree. There's a little bit of planning, but the market's going to market, baby. That's why the free market is so beautiful and wonderful and all evil at the same time, because you can try to predict it.
Like, we're accountable. Us and other creators are accountable to some degree when like we just kind of come in and steamroll and sort of buy our way in for the content, like like guys like Harry or
yourself.
Yes.
Buy nothing.
I mean, you know what I'm saying, just like like somebody like Harry or like
Laird.
Or like
Jorge.
Nep. Like Nep's the kind of guy who's just going to straight out, if he plays Footium at some point, I don't even know if he does right now, but he's just going to straight out buy like rares,
Everything.
and then he's going to feed that content out to people. So it's definitely like we bear some responsibility sometimes with like how we approach this and how we tell or how we play, and then people get the idea of like, oh, this is how you play.
That's fair. I think the percentage of people that don't have an outlet to content or play this game by themselves will always be greater than the people that are involved in a community already. We were lucky enough to have a pre-existing community. Check us over the States. What's up? But like we just kind of like I'm saying, like I said it earlier, man, you had us to come and talk to and chat with before we even bought in. Unlike us, when me and Chris were starting out, it was just kind of us two, and then we eventually ended up talking to Thomas, but we kind of just had to figure it out on the fly and kind of do that. And I'm looking
Thomas
back at some of those early purchases. Yeah, looking back, it's not great, but it's market tuition and everything. My early server purchases weren't great either. My early
two things
crypto purchases weren't great.
Yeah, a couple other things I hope eventually they can sort would be one, playing at the same time as you move up divisions. Like, I think it kind of stinks when you get promoted if your game ends up going off at like 2 a.m. and you never get to watch your team. Like, that really sucks. So hopefully
it's hard to do that though, because like eventually all the divisions get to the same spot, somewhere you have to change the times and
it just stinks not being able to watch, because a game with live management, it really sucks to not be able to watch.
It's so much better to be live.
So hopefully there's something they can come up with, even if you can at least like preset some kind of ideas in the future. Just like, hey, if my team is down, I want to go defensive, blah, 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 make these subs or whatever.
I hate that.
And then the other thing
I do hate that, because I'm on every single game, and I like the advantage of being on every single game.
Yes, and
I want the other teams not managing anything, so I am not a fan of that one.
Again, as someone who's undefeated, you just rotate and you just full send, baby.
In Div 8. Let's put the qualifier on there.
And then hopefully, like somebody's not like simulating, but gathering the data. Like I hope that there is no rock paper scissors, like perfectly spelled out for formation versus formation, like where there's like a meta where it's like always got to play this one because this one wins. You know what I'm like, that kind of idea. Like I hope the match engine.
There should be a rock paper scissors so that everything loses to something else.
Yes, but not in a perfectly figured out formula. Like your input as a live manager
needs to be a little
change. Yeah. Your input as a live manager should have affect the outcome, rather than just like, no, if I play a 4-4-2 and you play this, like I'm always going to win regardless of what I do, kind of thing.
I mean, I'm sure there is a little bit of that. Like, I'm sure if you went out and read some like real football books and found out, that the 3-5-2 perfectly counters the 4-2-3-1, and like yada. I'm sure there is a little bit of in that, but no, I do agree. I think it should be a little bit more random versus maybe like almost like matchup, like player versus player. Like,
but like the live management,
your right back versus my left back,
yeah. But your changes, like the things you make, I think are important, and I think those should really be weighted against the rock paper scissors. Like,
and I think eventually this gets way more in depth too. It's not just like defensive or attack. It's like, hey, maybe we should attack the left versus the right because they have a terrible left back, and it's like awesome. There's more of that stuff that's definitely gonna be coming at some point.
Yeah.
I think tactically this game could be a lot more fun. And I think eventually it will get to that point where it is a lot more fun, and it is. They can kind of counteract, giving us more options to be off the live stream, like being able to preset subs and stuff like that, which I think does help people who can't go, with adding in a little more tactical flexibility. So if you see something live, you can kind of adjust on the fly and take advantage of it. So I think, they can kind of counteract that to kind of keep it balanced and make it just better for everybody overall. And I think a lot of that stuff, I mean, I've heard that there's stuff coming down the road for, more strategy and more, stadium manipulation and all that kind of stuff. So, there's still a ton more ways that this game is going to get more fun and more strategic and more in depth.
I know, it's just a baby. It feels like such a baby,
right?
But
like as long as they do it slow and steady, one at a time, don't break what you already got. If it ain't broke, don't fix it. But like tweak a little bit and add it, but like take your time. All right, slow and steady wins the race.
Can we do feedback loop number 2 that I got mad about this week? And
real quick, Andy Mac has a question.
Oh God.
Let me get to the chat here real quick. Chris, it's not all about you, okay?
It's always about me. I'm the one that complains. This is how this show works. Sorry, Andy Mac. I apologize. Apologize for
so he's asking, what are the thoughts? Yeah, on the retirement age chat, variable or not? So I guess there's there's a question put out there if variable age retirement is a good idea.
Heck no is what I'm saying. The one reason that I kind of understand it is like kids come through the academy at different ages, so I could see like a little bit of a variability in retirement based on when they came in from the academy. But yeah, generally I enjoy the fact that like I know I've got 1 season left. I know I've got 2 seasons left. It makes it a lot easier to plan and not go, well, I mean, I could take the chance on the 31-year-old and hope that he's Messi and plays till he's 40. Like, there's a lot of luck in there that I don't like. I like it being a little bit more structured and like you make your decision. Is this worth an extra 2 years or not? And less gambling and rolling of dice. But I understand the other side.
What if he's only 40 rated player, but instead of retiring at 31, he retires at 35?
So would you know that in advance, though? That's my question.
Yes.
If you know it in advance, then I'm okay with it.
Because now we're solving your problem, a younger rated, where it's like, they're a little bit lower rated, but you get them for longer. So like, and your lovely little data point of like,
true. That's true.
Money per year. Like now, all of a sudden, instead of like $1 per year per whatever potential bull crap that you come up with.
Whoa, if you're playing $1 per year, you're paying way too much.
See what I mean?
My most expensive guys are like 75 cents a year. Come on.
So you still get a bronze player that's a little lower rated potential, but you get a little bit of extra years, therefore making him a little bit more valuable, a little bit more sought after.
Yeah,
So
I mean,
I will say,
incentivizing can be a lot of different ways, for sure. It doesn't have to just be a lower price.
Not
so
that I have a real
MFL has
opinion on
kind
that.
of nailed this. I will say this: MFL has kind of nailed this retirement thing with their idea. I don't know if it's the right idea, but their idea is retirement is a hidden stat on your guy. Eventually, at a certain age, you're going to get a little flag next to him. It says he has 3 years left, but you don't know like when the flag comes. But once it does, you know that there's 3 years left of that player, and it's sort of the right idea in adding the variable. Or I liked your idea of basically when they enter the academy, it's X years after that age, whatever it is. Like if he comes in at 20, all right, he gets to 35. If he's 16, he gets 31. Whatever. That's a pretty good idea.
Yeah, I mean, I could be convinced on some sort of variable retirement. But I think the real key is, do you know it or not? Because if you know it, then it's still a simple calculation. If you don't know it, then it becomes a little bit more like logic-y and dice rolly. So I don't really care. I don't really care how, if I know it, I don't care what the rules are, as long as I know what the rules are. What I don't think I like is anything that's, I don't know when he's going to retire. He just kind of says, I've had enough. So, I mean, maybe if you like don't put him in the game enough times, then he's just like, forget this, I'm out of here.
I actually suck. I'm retiring early. So
yeah. Like clearly I'm not good enough for this team, so I'm just out. You see y'all later.
Hasn't started for 3 years, just rotation. You're like, all right, I'm out. Go and hang out with my kids.
Exactly. I'm gonna go play for Des Moines Menace now.
Fuck, who just did that?
All the retired players should go to one team in Div 8.
Someone just retired early out of nowhere because he just like nobody wanted to pick him up. He just said, all right, I'm out. Oh, freaking Jacqueline, baby.
Jacqueline.
Oh, freaking Academy, freaking savant Jacqueline, Golden Boot winner, MLS next, baby. He just hung up his boot, said apparently I don't got it. Oh man, yikes!
I don't got it.
All right,
I'm not him.
Yeah, Bachman. His comment about the retirement age, he likes it. The utility would be quite novel, maybe works. Facilities, training, coaching. I'd love if that would be an idea where you can basically have an academy coach who can either give you 2 points or cut the training time in half, like something like that. But it's
based
a guy
on their
that
max potential. Is how much
or his chemistry or like his captaincy, like if he was a high rated captain guy, he can do this or that. Like that's at least an idea for them that it's like, because you've paid for that guy. So to get something out of him afterwards, I don't think is unreasonable.
Yeah, kind of like how like they turn like different tool cards when you're training. Like, hey, if it's like a bronze goalkeeper or whatever, like if you're training a goalkeeper, it's like a little faster than like a little bit faster than a 35-year-old or 35. Okay. Hold on. Let that boy cook. All right. I think we're onto something here.
Love that.
There you go.
Same thing with like just the academy in general and just having a better facility than other teams. Like, hey, I'm an MLS team. I'm going to pay for a better facility than Des Moines Menace, and I'm going to have like better training out of that, right? Like, I think you should, like, the club itself should have things that make it more valuable than all the other clubs, right? Because right now you can buy a club and really the division kind of matters a little, but I mean, you can always move divisions, but like something that's permanent, that's like, we have a training facility that, it lasts 15 years and it's like a 5-star training facility. And then slowly over time, it gets to like 4, 3, 2, whatever. That would be fun to have, stadium upgrades and facility upgrades and that kind of thing too.
I really don't hate that, man. Cause like, I'm really looking at it. It's like, cause then that gives like, that opens up a whole market for these retired players. Cause then you're like, depending on the position, depending on the max potential, depending on like all this stuff, it was like it almost unlocks different abilities and different perks for and it could be, you could do it for whatever. Like if you have way more attacking players and defenders, you just do something like that where you like almost go after those boosts for offensive players or anything like that. Then maybe you could even work on stamina. Some low stamina, find a way to work that up a little bit. Yeah, because we all hate low stamina.
Go run, young man. Just keep running until I tell you to stop.
Just keep running.
Easy. Yeah, something is coming. Like retired players for sure are gonna have some sort of something I think they've confirmed that in the past.
Ooh, there you
but
go.
It's just a
Center
question of
forward
what and
coach
how.
improves your chances of pulling a center forward in the academy. Higher chance for higher rated player. Yeah, especially if you know you need some extra positions too. Like you just had some center mids retire. Be like, oh, I really hope I get another center mid to replace him.
Yeah, I do like. Yes, it does have to be something based on one, like you've put into it, like, and it's not just luck. Like I do not want like that luck factor of like, oh, I just got like a 60 rated guy just because like.
Jorge. Man has been
Rebreeding?
at Div 8
Are we talking
all
about
3
breeding
years
again?
and has had better academy kids than me all 3 years, and they're cheaper. Like, how is this possible?
Told you, all you have to do is suck at the video game, and then you actually win.
Well, I suck this year, so we're gonna test.
But
your
now we
theory.
can get to Chris's point too. Now that we've all agreed on something, we can get to Chris's point too.
Oh,
Ooh,
thank God! 50
Um,
minutes
yeah,
in, we were on
point-
the same page. That was awesome.
Point 2.
Hashtag clip that.
I don't know what's happening right now. Obviously, I think the match, like they were tweaking with the match engine maybe like a week ago. Because I have never had a red card in a game in 3 years for either time, either me or the other team. And we got 2 in like the last week. One was for us, one was against us. The one that was for us, like the other team got a red card. We were down 1-0. Granted, it was a better team. Like I was rotating and taking the L. We were down 1-0 when they got a red card, and we ended up losing like 6-0. And I was like, you're not like coming after me that hard when you have 10 guys at the field. Like it didn't seem like it mattered whatsoever. The other one, our team got a red card, and we ended up winning like 1-0 or something against a team that was pretty equal. Like both scenarios, I feel like the red card played zero difference whatsoever. And I mean, I've watched a few soccer games in my life. Red cards change games drastically. So yeah, I think we need a little more like if your team gets a red card, you're kind of just screwed at that point. Like you better hold on for dear life, like it kind of is in real life. Maybe if you're like really better than the other team, like you can still kind of edge them out. But I don't feel like I was actually kind of surprised that we lost by as much as we did when we got the red card or when they got the red card. And then I was surprised that we still won when we got the red card. So yeah, red cards. Maybe look at those.
Which is funny because I think in our chat I posted. Yeah, so I got an early red card, also last week, and then I switched immediately to. Yeah. I switched to defensive like immediately. I put the thing in because I'm like, all right, and then my team just proceeded to go bananas and score 6.
Exactly. It's like what? We're on defensive with 10 guys. How are we scoring 6 goals? Like look, I could be playing against teams and they wouldn't score 6 goals. It's crazy.
I do think there is something to that in its entirety because it also happened to me this year where I got an early red card and I remember like immediately just like texting the chat like panicking. This is gonna suck. I was panicking. I was like, no, this is bad, not good. And then I ended up winning like 6-2. When in years past, okay, over here at Brew Braver, we like to stick into some tackles. All right, it maybe a little shithousery over here.
We have mustaches to prove it.
No, dude, there's no way these are rare, man. Because I've gotten a second yellow, I've gotten a straight red, and in years past, when I did get a red card, I got smashed. Like I literally, I've gotten red cards in previous seasons and completely just got obliterated. And this year, it doesn't seem as bad. Yeah, maybe they didn't change as much or whatever, but dude, they are coming up left and right. Like, granted, my team just gets a lot of yellows anyway. But
I will say this has changed a little of my tactics. Because in the first couple seasons, I would get a yellow card and I would think about like subbing that player off, like don't get the red, right? Bring them off, don't take the risk, especially if I'm ahead and trying to play defensive. Since these 2 games have happened, now I'm like, I don't care about yellow cards whatsoever. Like if we get a second yellow, fine, whatever. It's all good. Because even if we get the red, it doesn't matter. I'm still gonna just sub. Which kind of takes away a little bit, right? Because I pre-plan the subs. I know exactly what I'm gonna do stamina wise, and it does not affect what I'm trying to do. Whereas if reds were a little more costly, and I was trying to like, I don't want to get a second yellow on this guy, then I would have to kind of consider my subs a little bit more in game. Whereas right now, I could literally throw 3 guys into the subs and leave the other 3 blank because I know exactly who I'm subbing and exactly at what time, which makes it a little less fun, you know?
Yeah. I mean, Bachman obviously been around for a long time, has a little insider pull. Says they don't really do much. There's not individual outcomes in the current engine, possibly to be included in engine updates for next season. So I definitely do think they are tweaking things with red cards because it does. Because you can almost tell, especially for people like if you're watching a lot of games, like almost every day or whatever, like you start to notice like certain little things. And every year it's whether, and like I do definitely notice that they add like new like text and stuff like that. I've noticed that. The miss one was a funny one for this. I think it was this season that they implemented. Where you just like shoot, and it's normally like a block or save, and it just miss. You're like, oh fuck, that feels bad. Like, oh no.
Yeah, why don't we get more misses? Because I feel like all the shots that I ever see, maybe it's just DC United is terrible, but all the shots I ever see are all misses.
I want one where it's like a shot, and then just like some say it's still going. Just that's it. Just give me like, oh man, dude. He skied that thing into tomorrow, baby.
The EMTs have gotten to the 3rd row as somebody's been knocked out.
But yeah, dude, they are tweaking a little bit. Like, but you got to think it's like, and not to say that like Footium's not great at the way they're doing because this is an incredible game and all, but like sometimes you just mess with things in the back end and inadvertently without realizing it, you kind of like break something on the other side, and it takes a little bit to notice. But like I said, Footium seemed really, really keen on fixing things and getting things done as soon as they happen.
Yeah.
Things happen, man. This is tech, baby. This is Web3. This is the blockchain. Things break. It is still very early on. All right. Mass adoption still in here. So, you know, it ain't going to be perfect.
At least we don't see goalkeeper goals anymore. Like that one's gone.
Yep.
They fixed that.
Oh, it's been great.
I'm still the one thing.
All
right. The one thing that irks me more than anything else, a free kick, no matter where it is on the field, is going in the other team's box. It's like you physically cannot kick the ball from your own goal line into the other team's box. It can't happen.
It happens all the time, bro.
Come on. It bugs me so much because I'm like, no, that's a free kick in my own box and you get a shot off of it? Come on.
Yeah, well, I just think it's hard for the engine to basically tell you that it was 4 passes. To you, it looks like a free kick to the box, but realistically, 4 passes like occurred on the engine. And
every time it goes in that box, it's like, jeez.
But yeah, it's definitely funny when you see like the deep corner from your own side, and like you kick it to the box.
It's shot. It's like, wait.
How did he get it there?
Yeah. No, but you know damn well, like sometimes even like in real life, you're watching football and he's like 40 yards out. And you're like, there's no way you're smacking that. Like, you're not going for it. And then they hit it anyway. You're like, oh, well, I guess he did. Uh-oh. So, hey, maybe your team, bro. It's just full of winners. All right. Egos through the roof to get mass.
Yeah. Andy Mack's got a good one on there too. Goals need to stop play. And make the sub or make the tactical change or whatever. Like, I don't understand how that doesn't happen. That one seems like a kind of an easy one.
Yeah.
The one thing I was thinking, and I get that it's a blockchain thing. So like it's gonna take some time to make like tactical switches. But if you're just making a tactical switch, why doesn't it just update the second that it gets there? Right? Instead of waiting for the ball to go all the way out of play. Because managers can change tactics in game. Like they can change. They don't need the ball to go out of play to change the tactics. Subs, I get. You need the ball to go out of play to make the sub. But if you're just changing the tactics around, let that thing ride. It's the second that the engine gets it, so that it doesn't take 20 minutes to change from attacking to defending. And they've scored 2 goals in the past, and now. And you also can't cancel the tactical change. It's like they score 2 goals, and then you're like, wait, I don't want to be on attacking anymore. I want to be on defensive.
I don't want to play anymore. Shut it down.
And it's like, I got to wait for it to change to attacking so I can change it back to defensive. Like, it's crazy.
Yeah, it is definitely like an action on the blockchain, which is why it takes a little bit.
Right.
But
and it's fine that it takes a little bit, but just like, don't wait for the ball to go out for the tactical changes.
Yeah, and I don't know enough about what are we on? What's the chain?
Arbitrum.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know what their TPS is or anything like that.
Yeah, it's a layer 2. It's one of the main layer 2s.
Yeah, just like whatever, in order to get these kinds of things. But you're right, it's probably like the engine also needs like a little bit of tweaking, and then like what's the TPS of the chain to like
It
make
seems like decently fast enough, and like given
It
that
does.
it's like 3 minutes of game time for every 1 minute of real time, like it probably takes like maximum a minute of real time to actually get through. So like you're talking 2-3 minutes. That's okay. Like I can kind of live with that. It may not happen like instantly, but the whole like taking 20 minutes to get a throw in, or just like add more throw ins into the game so that like there are more chances to make those switches. So like I don't really care either way, but it seems like there's a way to kind of tweak that to make it a little bit better.
Yeah, with due time, we're only in season
Yeah.
6. Like I said, it's a little baby product, but we're here. We're literally
I was
going
gonna
out
say,
of our way to make content because it's great.
and we're here just to
Oh, it's
talk,
so
and
much
like
fun.
maybe a good idea comes out of all this. That's kind of what happens.
Yeah.
If we get a good idea, we're cooking. Like
That's what I'm saying.
most of our ideas are pretty
One
bad.
good idea. That's
Yeah,
all
we're-
it takes.
We're here to hang out and talk some footy with the bros in the chat and anybody who wants to hang out. Like someone said, I don't know, it's just like just grab a beer, hang out with your buddies, hang out and have a chat.
Can I ask the chat a question real quick? What's
Oh,
the
here we go.
lowest goal differential you've ever seen in any team, like a zombie team, right? Because I've got 2 teams that are minus 56 right now after 30 games. That's a lot. I don't know that I've ever seen anything bigger than that. So like,
Minus
and there's 2 of them.
56.
There's 2 of them.
They are battling for the dumpster.
They get obliterated every single game, and I'm here for it. But I just want to know if anyone's seen, like, theoretically, these guys could get to like 100. Like that'd be crazy for one.
We are
season.
halfway through the season.
They're,
I was about to say,
I mean, they're a couple games past halfway, but like they're kind of close to the pace for 100. And I'm going to run up the score against them. So I haven't played either one yet.
Go ultra attacking when you play them.
Me, the highest one in
Then
my
I
league
won't
right now
score
is
any goals.
30.
I want to go very defensive, and then I'll win 9-0. We'll be good.
Oh,
Minus
Andy
65. Yeah,
5.
that's crazy.
Yeah, mine's my negative 30 on mine.
That's crazy.
Mine's 28 in my league.
Yeah, I would imagine 94. Jeez.
Whoa,
PSU fans play?
I mean, I guess if you have a zombie team in Div 1 when you're playing 80s, then you're gonna get smoked a few times. I guess that makes sense.
Oh, PSU fans play.
Jeez, 94.
Season 4. PSU
That's
fans been
crazy.
playing this game for a couple seasons now.
Well,
No.
apparently he didn't play that season.
Yeah.
Otherwise, he's real bad.
Also, PSU fans doesn't like to go outside, so anything that keeps him indoors, he's in.
That's fair. That's fair. Well, now that I've been in the weather out here, I see why people don't go outdoors. Jesus freaking Christ, dear Lord. Fucking found out I was so close to Canada, and I was like, that explains everything. Blame the Canadians.
Canada.
Either way. Chris, do you have any more rants, any more issues, anything else you want to air out to the world?
I don't know. I mean, hopefully we'll get our first Div 7 prize this year. We're fighting and clawing and scrapping for every point. Got a big draw against one of the big 3. Beat one of the other teams in our kind of pool in our like little tier. So good start to the second half of the season. Just gotta keep it up, keep grinding. We'll see if we can actually scrape a prize out of this thing, because I have probably the 3rd worst team in this league. So if I finish 4th or 5th, I will be quite pleased.
Let's freaking go. You'll love to see
But yeah,
it.
just beat Sanson and got a draw out of Farkin and kind of knocked them down a little bit too. Because they were right up here in this promotion race, and now they've lost today too. So yeah, just vibing, just trying to rotate the lads and keep on vibing,
Hell yeah, that's what we do here. ZM Star up the sham. What do you got before we get out of here?
Just been having. I can't wait till they add more stats here. I always come and check my stats. Just racking in the goals. So I can't wait till they have more stats in the thing. But like otherwise, like just still loving it from the first day to today. I've watched every match except for one that I just could not just get on my phone to watch, and every time I'm still sweating it. Even though I know my team is better, I still sweat it. and that's a lot of fun.
I think the fun thing with my team, my worst player is my top scorer, and he's a center mid. So I don't know how that's happening, but literally the player that is one of two guys that I have that's 32 on this team, it is a center mid, and he scored 4 goals this year. So I love the records. I'm here for it.
Yeah.
He's also my last OG player. My final player from my OG team has been sold. So
Oh
wow.
he'll be departing at the end of the year, and we're all brand new.
Dude, you better show up to perform and Brulus, because if not, you're getting the boot. Christy MLS card guy does not play around.
Nope.
Don't hold up to no losing assets. You love to see it. And that's right, baby. You know that this year, this is the year, baby. Can we go undefeated? Can Brew Braver go completely undefeated this year? That is the real question. Can we do it? Can we make it happen? 13-0.
Jorge is like, oh my God, my goal differential. I'm like, dude, if you just win all the games, goal differential doesn't matter. It's fine.
Literally. Well, it wasn't.
them
It
all.
wasn't until this game today we are officially ahead on goal differential, because I don't think Cole Albion will catch up to us, and we play in 2 days anyway. So as long as I beat him, we're good to go, baby. We're catching up on goal differential. We are making it happen. All right. It took long enough. We've been fighting for promotion this entire time. We keep falling short, ending in 3rd place, but this is the year, baby. We are not
We'll
leaving
throw a party.
anything up to chance. We are going to take the lead by storm. Yo, Footium, do I get anything cool for going undefeated all season?
Not a Div 8, bro.
Come.
I want-
Yeah,
I want
you
my
beat
bugs.
the- You beat the
Yeah,
Tens
my
in front of
mug.
you. Who cares? All right. Div 8
You
or
didn't
not.
beat him last year.
I was moving and couldn't rotate. That was manager error. That was on me. Okay. They sat down. My seat was hot. It was warm. Okay. They were getting ready to give me the boot. Okay. They're gonna pull an
You're the
MLS
owner. How are they going to
shenanigans.
give you the boot?
Oh, dude, they'll buy me out, bro. Klein out, baby. Klein out. If you know, you know. Hashtag save the crew. I don't know, do something, but hey, we're gonna do it. We're gonna make it happen. It's just so we can afford those expensive academy players in D7 who will still be 60 plus rated.
Still
Let's
better.
go, baby.
For winning the league, right? Or the ETH we get is basically an academy mint. we get the
A
early one
little,
academy
over an academy mint right
mint.
now.
A little over an academy mint.
I think right
Yep.
now, if I finish first, it's 0.008.
Right. And academies are 0.0069. So
Okay, yeah.
Hey, nice.
as of right now, they could go up next year.
They
We'll
could
see.
go up, yeah,
There
next
you
year.
go, there you go.
Although it'll be a D7 mint, so it'll definitely be more.
Or I just use that money buy a second team.
Yeah.
You can't buy a team with 0.008, boy.
I
I don't
have
know
a
what
balance.
league you're. I
I
don't know
have
what
a
league you're
balance.
playing in.
I have a little bit of a balance, okay? We got some prize money, we got some sales, we got some trades, and
When you go to buy a team, though, look at that academy, because like I got a lot of value out of the academy that I bought. So I did not pay as much as it says that I paid
don't
because
tell
I got
everybody.
a
Don't tell
ton of
everybody.
value out of that.
Because now when I go to buy a team, there's going to be no teams left with any academy. They're going to get all scooped up.
There were a lot that were already picked over for sure.
Yeah. So
But I found
it may
one.
not be
That's all it
news,
takes.
but now we're putting it out publicly on the internet. So I'm just going to go
Yep.
ahead and blame us anyway because the show is massive and this has been Footium in the States, baby. Shout out to you guys. It's hard to get a bunch of adults on the same schedule to all hop on the internet and talk at the same time every week. But just know that we think about you guys all the time. We talk about you guys all the time.
Aw.
There's like 3 shows in the past that were playing in the last week that never happened. But it's not about how you get there. It's that you get there. And we got there today. Shout out to everybody who's hanging out in the chat. Shout out that was chiming in. Shout out to everybody that watches this after. Leave comments after. We will see them. And if you want to come on one of these shows, you want to come hang out, please. Because apparently my friends take forever to respond. Just kidding. I'm the issue. I'm the reason it doesn't happen. But we'll try to squeeze you in. All right. Give me a reason to hop on more of these and get my life back together. Cheers, Andy Mack. And we'll see you guys next time on Footium in the States.
Bye, Mom.
Peace.